Ryan, thank you for coming to Shed Talk, my man. It's very good to see you.
What's happening, bro?
What's up? All right. So my man, Rhino Fontenot, is how I like to call it, is a blue belt, a third stripe blue belt under Tim Crater. He graduated from UL with a degree in accounting.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Graduated May 2019.
Awesome. He's been doing jiu-jitsu for like 39 months.
39 months to the T.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ryan here is a commentator for Fighting Championship. He's also got a podcast called You Never Know with Ryan Fontenot. And he has some of the fighters from the gym. He has local business owners on his show, and he talks with them about their business, what they're into, talks to them about their career, talks to them about, other things outside of that. And I've actually been on Ryan's show.
Only one time, right?
One time, right?
One time.
And so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Even though listening to it now, I'm sure I'll probably be like ashamed of all the stuff I said. It's not necessarily ashamed, but it's weird to listen to previous shows, in my opinion. For me, it is. Like, I just hate the way I say things
What you mean,
sometimes.
like just listen to how you were a year ago, or just hearing yourself in general?
I think a lot of times just like the thought process that I had, once I proved that wrong to myself, I feel like the things that I say in the past are kind of foolish.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about podcasts. If I go back and I hear myself from like a year or two ago, like, I really had that opinion? Are you serious? Yeah. I do get what you're saying, because in general, like, do you feel like I feel like everybody changes. Like, you're a different person from who you were 6 months ago, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you have different perspectives. So it is weird going back and hearing yourself on podcasts just because of that. Because everybody changes. So if I heard myself like 2 months ago, I'm like, I had that take? Really? I'm an idiot.
Awesome, thank you for that. All right, so now I'm gonna go into some questions for you.
Let's do it.
So first question I have is, it's about being a commentator for Bayou Fighting Championships, okay? I've had some of the fights that you commentated on the show before, the Logan Spire and Abram Sellers fight. If you haven't seen that, go check out that. He's got commentary throughout the fight. It's an awesome fight. And so basically my question is, what is your favorite part about commentating on the fights and honestly interviewing the fighters and doing the podcast and all those things? What's your favorite part about all that?
Well, those are different things. So for the Bayou FC, which I haven't done in a while just because of COVID, kind of shut the stuff down. But sitting ringside, man, because I remember my first time sitting, it was at the Capital City Fight Night. I think the main event was the Thomas Webb, I'm trying to think, Ray Trujillo, I think that was the main event. And I sat there, I had about a year and a half experience of podcasting, so I was used to being on the mic, used to being on camera, like, wasn't nothing new for me. But sitting there first time, I remember sitting there, I was a little nervous, and one of my buddies, I'm not gonna say his name, he was the very first fight guy I'm friends with. I had him on my podcast, and the very first round, he gets knocked out, son. He falls in front of me. I see his eyes roll behind his head. I'm like, what am I getting into? Like, I'm commentating on my buddy just getting knocked out. And I was just so surprised at hearing the violence being that close. Because when you're far away and you're drinking, when you 4 Coors Light deep, you don't hear that stuff, bro. You hear the crowd. You hear your own bullshit. But when you sit there and you hear the violence, man, that really made me feel uncomfortable. And as the night went on, I got more comfortable with it. But really, just sitting there at ringside, you have the best view in the house. And you're allowed to talk. Because sometimes when you're watching fights, you want to talk and somebody says, hey man, shut up.
Yeah.
Nobody's telling you to shut up when you're a commentator. Yeah. So it was fun, and especially whoever you're commentating with. That night I had Eli Rubin, he's a black belt at Gladiators. He'd be a good.
He's already been invited. I'm looking forward to having Eli on.
He was my very first guest I ever had on my podcast.
Awesome.
We can get that story later.
Wow, that's cool.
But me and him were doing the commentary together. Me and him, we have good chemistry. I feel like he has good chemistry with everybody.
Yeah,
he's like Walter White, bro. He's a master at chemistry.
Yes.
He's the chemist, boy.
Ding, ding. My man.
And then other times, I've commentated with Jared Conks. He's another black belt. He's the owner of Gladiators at Bro Bridge. He's so funny, man. Super smart. I've interviewed another guy named Matt Bricker. He's the writer for Bayou FC. He's the guy who writes all not the promos. He writes the press releases for him. And I had him on the commentary, and it was nice being with him because some of these fighters, I have no idea, I don't even know how to pronounce their names, and he comes on and he knows everything about every fighter. So it was nice having that balance. So I always find that fun. Just whoever you're with, it definitely feels different with, and that's fun. I enjoy that. I like just talking with people too, because everybody has different chemistry. You and me would have different chemistry, just being right here, and so that's pretty fun. Just talking to people, just being with different people, having the best view in the house. Yeah. I'd say with Bayou Fighting Championship, that's probably my favorite thing.
Nice, that's cool. I like that. Thank you for that, Ron. And so for Matt Bricker, also, I'm getting you on the schedule. We've got a few. I just want to give a quick update. We have what's coming up the barrel. You know, I never really do this, so I kind of want to give it out. Just go ahead and shoot out a couple of things that we have. We have July 11th. We got Kids Camp in Burr Ridge. All right, and next coming up on Shed Talk, we have Zach Matthew, we have Damon Vincent, and then my favorite of all the podcasts so far is our guy Tim Crater. I got Crazy Tim Crater on the podcast and had him talk about. You know, he went into depth about, you know, being in Brazil and all the stuff that he learned from jiu-jitsu and just his life and his legacy with gladiators, and it was just amazing to hear some of the stories from Tim.
One of my favorite things about Tim, just to say this real quick, is like just growing up, like you think of this typical male stuff you hear in South Louisiana is like, oh, that's some gay shit, like they're too tough, they drive big trucks, whatever. You see Tim's like a big, tough guy, like everybody, not saying everybody's intimidated by him, but when he walks in the room, like his presence is known, like he really is an alpha male. But like if you talk to him about anything, he always has an opinion on something, but like it's very, very deep. It's not like no surface level stuff, and it's not just like bullshit stereotypical man stuff. Like he goes deep into it, like kind of Jordan Peterson, like the way he talks about his children. He's like the embodiment, I feel like, of like just what a good man is.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I totally agree. It's awesome, man. You know, great role model for me. I know he's a great role model for you and a mentor, right?
He's like an uncle figure.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good one to say. Like man, I think if you had a similar relationship with Tim that I do, like as being a part of the MMA team, you know, I think it would just be it's just a different perspective because like I know Tim from practice, and then I know Tim from like real life, you know, and I see some of his thought. I've heard a lot of his interviews, so doing listen to his interviews. It's like a totally different person than the guy I actually see during those 10 5-minute rounds of 5 kickboxing hard and then 3 or 5 grapple boxing rounds. So there's two different people, right? It's both amazing and inspirational in their own unique way. And I mean,
he's a positive role model in my life. I wouldn't call him a father figure. I'd say he's more of an uncle figure.
Yeah,
that's the way I would describe him.
I like it. Thank you for that. All right, so I'm gonna ask you this question. All right, but I don't want you to, like you said, be all right. So here we go. Out of all the people that you've gotten to train with, who was the one person that you were like, damn, I can't believe I'm actually training with this person right now? And it could have been a good experience, could have been a tough experience, it could have been, not what you expected, but like, who's somebody that you've trained with that is like, man, that was awesome?
So you're asking, like, I never roll with anybody famous, if that's what you're asking. Like, there's nobody I'm rolling with, like, damn, I cannot believe I'm rolling with this person. Yeah. Are you asking the question, if I'm rolling with somebody, like, damn, that was just a good ass roll?
So I guess, that was this is my favorite, or this is the hardest roll I had, or that he made it look easy, basically. You know what I mean?
Made it look easy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pivot a little bit and say one of my favorite training partners. I told it to him. So if you know Russ, who trains at our gym.
Russ Abbott.
Yeah. Dude, Russ is I think is he Canadian or is he from somewhere in the UK? He's from one of the other.
For sure, but yeah, somewhere in the UK, I believe.
One of the other. Yeah. Anyway, this dude's in his 40s. Super nice guy. He's in his 40s, dude. And every time I roll with him, it's a war. And it's not just. Like, he's super technical. Yeah. Like, at his age, he's freaking good. Like, I want to say he did a smokers tournament and he went against your boy Johnny Smith. Like, a 40-year-old going against a young buck professional fighter. Like, he's game. That's awesome. He has 3 daughters. And if you ever go to any jiu-jitsu tournament, they all compete and they all just clean house as like little girls.
That's
and like,
awesome.
man, that dude is such a badass dad putting his daughters in there. You know they're gonna have like super high self confidence
Right.
growing up. I mean, they're killing all the boys too.
Man, that's awesome.
But when I roll with him, I really appreciate being his training partner. Cause every time I roll with him, I've never had a bad roll with him. Like we always go at it.
Yeah.
And it's just the cool thing about jiu-jitsu. Like he's a 40-something-year-old guy, and he's from a different country.
Right.
He trains with us, and then just me and him sitting down, talking after laying on the mat, talk about video games, talk about life in general, talk about his kids, and it's just that's just one of the cool things about jiu-jitsu. You just meet so many cool people from everywhere, and it's like no matter where you are politically, what race you are, just everybody comes together because everybody puts in the hard work, everybody has respect for each other, and it's such a badass thing.
That's awesome. Man, that's the best answer I've gotten out of all the questions because I wasn't totally expecting that, and I actually know Russ, and Russ has come here to train with me in the shed, and I thank you for that, Russ. And I'm looking forward to training with you in the future and having you on Shed Talk if you would be my guest. After I have David Hardy, I gotta schedule Eli and then possibly Russ.
It's a good lineup.
But I'm totally excited about that, and thank you for that answer. I appreciate it. Totally didn't expect it. All right, proudest achievement of all the things you've done. What's your proudest achievement?
Man, that's like asking what your favorite movie is. Like, it's not. It might be Shrek 2. I love Shrek 2.
Are you serious? That's good. That's a bonus answer.
Shrek 2. Man, proudest achievement. I mean, there's a bunch of good ones. I mean, getting my college degree was pretty cool. Getting my blue belt was pretty cool. But man, like, I don't know if I have one like where like I won a competition or something. It's just this sounds cliche, but it's just like where I'm at in life now. I like where I'm at because if you saw me where I was when I was 18 or 19, it was just I was not in a good headspace. Like I wouldn't say I suffered from depression, but like growing up, dude, I grew up as a fat kid. So whenever you're a fat kid, I lost my weight when I was like a freshman in high school, but I think that fat kid mentality kind of stays with you. And if you talk to other guys who grew up fat, like everybody says the same thing, like that stuff stays with you. And so when I'm like, when you met at 18 or 19, dude, I had zero self-confidence. Like I let people walk over me with like I could even talk to females, dude. Just in general, like I was just kind of guy there, and just where I'm at now, and I give jiu-jitsu a lot of credit. I got into reading. I'm a huge big reader. I used to be super balls deep into self-help books. I'm not too much anymore. I'm just right now. I'm in a history thing right now. I like reading history about either like politics, financing, or just conspiracy shit we might be able to get into later. But just where I'm at now, just like where I'm at mentally, just the progress I made from my 18. I'm only 23 now, so only 5 years difference. But like it's a 90-day difference from if you met me a few years ago, prior to jiu-jitsu. Cause I got into jiu-jitsu and reading around the same time, and it's just mentally where I'm at. And you kind of, you probably agree, like I remember when you won one of your fights, you talk about whatever you are, whatever you put into your body. You remember that quote you said?
If you can control what goes in your eyes and your ears, then you can start controlling what kind of goes on in your life. But until then, you really don't. If you can't control at least what you're watching and what you're eating and what you're listening to, then it's kind of hard to really like control what comes out of your body. You know what I mean?
So to build off on that, because when you think about like why was I such in a bad headspace? Like I thought naturally, like man, something's wrong with me. I'm just not in a good headspace. But then if you look back at everything I was consuming at that time, like not necessarily just food, but like if you look like what positive stuff am I consuming for my mind? Like pretty much social media, video games, whatever BS my dumb 18-year-old frat friends are telling me.
Yeah.
And so like when I started reading, it's like it's like switching from antibiotic chicken you get a super one to like grass-fed butcher box meat, you know what I'm saying? So switching from that, just as soon as I started reading, man, I just felt like I immediately started reaping some benefits, just putting that positivity, consuming that good shit, putting that stuff in my mind, and it really, like I have people make fun of me, like, oh man, I ain't reading it, ain't for me, but like, I tell people, do what you want. Like some people, they rather listen rather than read, but reading really has transformed my mind. It really,
That's awesome.
it just made me feel more comfortable in my own skin.
I like it. That's awesome.
So my proudest achievement, that's what I would say. I like where I'm at now, opposed to where I used to be.
Totally awesome, dude. I've heard a little bit about your story, and I'm totally glad you gave that answer. And that's, you know, it's as beautifully put as I could have asked for. And thank you for that, Ron. What were we just talking about? We were talking about. You asked me something. Oh, that's not it, though. That's not it. Oh yeah. Okay. So
you get interviewed in the cage.
Yeah, I wanted to say something like, you know, I used to, like you know, it's going from this to this. Like I was on a Dutch chocolate ice cream. I like Bluebell. You know what I mean? Bluebell ice cream or any other Bluebell product I liked. And then so I had that, and then I had the pancake mix. Any kind of pancake.
That's a Bluebell flavor?
No. I just had pancakes, Pioneer pancakes. You know what I'm saying? I had a pancake problem for a little while, and I was, you know, I was like getting thick, you know, and I had never been thick, so it was kind of one of the like.
With 2 C's or 3 C's?
Two.
2 C's.
Well, you know, getting close to 200 pounds for me is a lot.
Oh, that's thick.
And that was thanks to, you know, Bluebell and pancakes, and it was just once a night, you know, or once a day, or once, it wasn't every second of the day, but it was every day. I was doing the pancakes, and then all of a sudden, you know, when I decided to stop eating stuff that came in a box in a container, and, you know, I started eating, you know, the whole foods with, you know, with a lot of grains in it, and really I was sticking to a plant-based. Once I switched over to whole food plant-based, my life has been different.
You don't eat meat?
I do eat meat, but I try to stick to fish, a little, you know, fish, and then, you know, I eat meat probably like once every 2 weeks. I'll eat red meat, but not a big portion. You know, I'll keep it small, but I'll eat a big plate of grains and beans and garlic, onions, and
yeah,
peppers.
I see you posted on Instagram. That stuff looks like it stinks.
It fucking tastes great, dude. I'm gonna
But
give you some.
It smells bad?
No, fuck no, dude.
It smells good?
I'm sorry. Yes, it smells great. It tastes great, dude. It's amazing. It's called the Fontenot Fitment. I'm gonna post the ingredients, and you guys can make it and tell me what you think. We'll make a video.
Yeah, well, whatever you're saying, like, whatever you consume your body, I need to get on that because I still eat like I don't.
I want you to try it. It's worth it. It's something that you can eat every day, and all you got to do is try to put at least a cup of it in your body a day. So however you can put a cup of it in your body a day, it's gonna benefit you because it has a lot more nutrients. Like it's more nutrient dense than a lot of these other meals that you would eat. So it's a lot more nutrient dense than meat. It's a lot more nutrient dense than chicken. It's a lot more nutrient dense than having just broccoli and kale. And it also allows you to mix in greens into the grains and get the benefits of eating dark leafy greens without the taste. It's sautéed. It's
sautéed.
Amazing.
That sounds good.
It's like stir fry with quinoa and beans.
So you're saying when you switch from pancakes to that, you felt a huge difference?
Yeah, well, I mean, I lost, you know, 20 pounds and shredded up, and, you know, it's because I'm able, the performance that I put out at practice is why I continue to eat this food, because of the nutrient density. I like to proactively eat nutrients that I know is going to be beneficial to not only my performance, but my digestive system and my gut health, and, you know, water and a lot of water, you know. I pretty much don't, I may drink a little bit of almond milk here and there, but like coffee and espresso, definitely, but a lot of water. Everything else is water. Nothing else.
I quit. I used to drink energy drinks a lot. The last time I had an energy drink was when I interviewed you. I think it was February 1st, 2019. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had a bang and I was drinking it. And he I said, you want an energy drink? I bought one for you. He goes, I ain't drinking that stuff. Like, why? He goes, and you said, they're legit telling you they're killing you. It's called Bang. And you blew my mind. Like, I don't.
There's a target right in the middle of the 6. That's a B. I mean, come on.
I didn't do any research on it. I said, you know what? That makes sense. And I quit Bangs here and there.
It says fuel your destiny. There's all kind of crazy.
Yeah, I quit Bangs here and there.
You know.
So I moved on to Monster.
So, bro, God.
Hey, but I haven't drinking
the same thing.
I haven't drank. I switched to Reign. I haven't drinking Reign since September though.
But apparently, if you want to make money in the UFC, you got to be down with Monster, right? Apparently, you got a choice.
Yeah.
If you want to get paid, you got to rock that.
If Monster came to you and they said you don't have to drink it, but you have to sell Monster, would you get with it?
I mean, that's pretty much what the deal is for them anyway. You think athletes are drinking that shit? Hell no. I promise you they're not drinking. They're wearing the hat, they're not drinking it.
But anyway, I haven't drinking an energy drink since September. But I haven't drinking a Bang since February.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that. All right. Favorite fruit?
Is it banana a fruit?
Banana is definitely a fruit. Ding, ding, ding. So you're a monkey.
Oh, I love monkeys, dude. Dude, if I went to the zoo, tell me when you go to the zoo, the monkeys are the best thing.
Well, I had a bonus question for you, okay? And I'm glad you basically answered it for me. So, like, if you could be a part of, like a clan or like a culture or like a part of a society.
Oh, it would not be monkeys.
Well, in the animal kingdom, which part of the animal kingdom besides human beings?
Elephants.
Elephants. Awesome. Thank you for that.
Elephants are beautiful creatures, dude. I mean, I think they made for life. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you know what's crazy? Like, elephants, like, they would be on the same level as horses, but I think it takes 24 months for one elephant to have a calf. So it just one calf.
Okay.
So I think that's why we don't really see that many elephants like throughout history. Like instead of us riding, imagine us like in 1776, like the British are coming. Imagine riding an elephant.
Oh yeah.
But like elephants would be useful for that kind of scenario, not necessarily alerting the people the British are coming, but just like warfare or travel, whatever. But the fact that elephants take forever to have babies and only have one calf.
Oh, man.
But I think elephants they're just beautiful creatures, man. I mean, they're peaceful. They do their own thing. But I'm just saying, I'm just saying, if I went to the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans, dude, I put a lawn chair out there. I could watch that orangutan all day.
Nice.
The silverback gorillas, I love watching them.
So favorite animal to watch is the monkeys and orangutans, and then the one you want to be a part of is the elephants. That's interesting coming from a rhino.
my spin-off podcast called The Elephant Show.
Hey, Elephant Show. Hey. So look,
I
got some cool graphics we're gonna run. All right, here we go. All right, why BJJ? What about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that does it for Ryan Fontenot? Why that? Because you seem to show up pretty often to fight with your friends.
So you're asking how I got into it, or why do I stay with it?
I guess both.
So how I got into it, I've told this story on my own podcast a few times. So February of 2017, during that time, my mom was going through breast cancer. So me, her, and my brother were living together in Lafayette, and my mom was going through chemo during that time. And Karen Crow Mardi Gras was going around. And I don't know if you know about Karen Crow Mardi Gras.
I do know about Karen Crow Mardi Gras.
It's wild.
I've been there.
So I had a buddy just come back from Iraq, and we had a huge party for him, and we all went to Karen Crow Mardi Gras. And I just went super, super hard in the paint. I drank a whole fifth of Captain Morgan. I mixed it with Dr. Pepper. How trashy is that?
That's a rookie mistake, bro. That's big time. Like,
big mistake, bro. I was 19.
I did that in high school too.
I was 19, bro.
Yeah.
I was 19. I drank that whole thing, and man, I had horrible alcohol poisoning. I gave myself heart palpitations. That's the only time I ever had alcohol poisoning in my life, and it was just like really embarrassing. I went home, dude, and I had to get my mom to bring me to the emergency room. And so I just remember my mom, shaved head.
It's tough.
She was thick though. She ate pretty clean when she was going through chemo. She gained 30 pounds when she was going through chemo. That's unheard of.
That's good.
She was roided out. Man. And she had to bring me, and it's just like, man, I got my mother going through chemo to bring me to the hospital at 3 a.m. in the morning just because I couldn't handle my liquor. Yeah. And like that was a really low point for me. I had some other stuff going on.
You want to apologize to your mom?
No.
Yeah. Well, I'll apologize. Is it Miss Fontenot?
Miss Phyllis.
Miss Phyllis. I'm so sorry about you having to do that. That's terrible. I've done stuff like that. So I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I've done that kind of stuff to my mom, and as you know, as sons, we apologize for those, and that's why he is the man he is today. And go ahead and continue.
So she brought me back. She brought me to the hospital, and I felt real bad. Like, man, I got my mother going through chemo, bringing me to the hospital right now. That's the one time I ever made her do something like that. She was cool with it, just because that stuff like really never happened to me. Then around that time, I just needed something to do. I just felt really complacent. I was looking to join the military, dude. Yeah. I was a sophomore in college, and I just needed something, man. Cause I went to a school named WCA in Opelousas, and their education system is really, really good. Yeah. And so when I went to UL, man, I just felt like I was head above everybody else. Like I was 4.0. I was still partying like 3 times a week, man. I was getting drunk every weekend. I gained like 15 pounds of straight Coors Light, dude.
Nice.
Going hard, but college was so easy. I wasn't working at that time. Pretty much just partying and making A's.
Must be nice.
Where some people are like saying, "Oh, you party making A's, what you complaining about?" But it's just mentally, dude. I just needed something. And then my Uncle Connor, who trains at the gym with us, me and him got our blue belts the same day. He's my uncle, but he's only a few years older than me. He's been a big Rogan fan forever, and he's been trying to get me to jiu-jitsu with him for like the past 2 or 3 years, and it's like, what does jiu-jitsu do? Karate, I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
And then like I started listening to Rogan for a little bit, and it's just Rogan. Joe Rogan's go-to book recommendation is called The War of Art. Not The Art of War, The War of Art is by Stephen Pressfield, and that's just his go-to recommendation. First Rogan podcast I ever listened to. I don't remember who the guest was, but he recommended that book. And so I picked up, I said, you know what, I picked up that book. First book I ever bought on my own that had nothing to do with school.
Yeah.
I read it in one sitting, blew my mind. Just kind of talked about not having a victim mentality, about like fighting procrastination, and just the way he personifies everything called resistance. Just everything you want to do, like when you wake up in the morning, when you don't want to get up, that's called resistance.
Yeah.
So like when you don't want to go to the gym, that's called resistance. When you don't want to, like if you're a writer, if you don't want to write, it's called resistance. But like resistance encompasses a lot of things, and like he identified the enemy, and it's like I didn't know I had this enemy. I was fighting this my whole life, but it really was. I thought it was I just had a shitty life, which I didn't. I just thought I had a shitty life. And then, so I read that book. Connor kept pushing me to do jiu-jitsu. I listened to Joe Rogan. He said jiu-jitsu changed my life. So I said, hey, Connor, let's go.
Yeah.
Me and him went, I think it was March 7th. It was like 2-3 days after I turned 20 years old. We both loved it. Wow. Stuck with it since, man. We still do it. Man, I still train 4 or 5 days a week.
That's right.
Since then.
It's awesome to see there, man. It's a very compelling story. It's very intriguing to see such growth. And attributed to self-driven motives to be better and to have a better life. And you had to make a decision every day to overcome that resistance. And that's what I believe is the most beneficial thing about it, because you're gonna be hurt, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be blah, 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 everything that tells you don't go. But when you put those days together, and the rest of everything else is easy.
Yeah. And another big reason was that I've consistently lifted weights since I was in high school, and so getting into jiu-jitsu was like, all right, it's another form of fitness. I was just really bored lifting weights. It was just I was doing bro workouts, and I was just fried from doing that. So you're doing jiu-jitsu, and also you're just learning a valuable skill, just how to defend yourself. Like to me, self-defense wasn't really that important. Like that wasn't the big enticing thing.
No one threatened your security. I mean, it wasn't. Not really. Nobody's, nowadays.
But the fact now that like I'm able to defend myself, that I just have that in the back of my back pocket whenever, it does give you a lot of confidence. Yes. Like just go out, like if some guy acts big old tough guy, like old young Ryan would be like, oh, ew, don't hurt me. Yeah. And nowadays, like I'm not gonna step up to this guy, try to fight him or nothing, but like I'm not gonna let somebody walk over me. Yeah. Or anything, like, because you know how guys are when they're 18 to 21, like there's some knuckleheads, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some knuckleheads. So now, like, knuckleheads don't really rub me the wrong way. I'm just doing my own thing.
That's good. I think it makes you more callous to those type of personalities.
I love that adjective, callous. And it's just, you meet a lot of cool people. Like I said, meet Russ. I mean, you have people all over the world. It's a cool skill to have. The camaraderie's great with meeting other people. I mean, you and me doing podcasts together. If I didn't do jiu-jitsu, I wouldn't have done a podcast. I wouldn't have been on somebody else's podcast. Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. It's a cool skill to have, and it's a lifelong journey. Been doing it for 39 months. I love it. I don't stop.
That was a beautiful explanation, my friend. Thank you for that. All right, now to the real questions. Aliens. What is the deal? Are they underground, above ground, inside of us, around, in the air, or on another planet? Or what? Like where?
I think they're in the air.
In the air.
So I want to ask you a question. I saw you put on Facebook a while back. I screenshot on my phone because it just made me laugh. You put a post, cartoons are the enemy. And then Logan Spire, who you had on here, he commented, not Rick and Morty, bro. And then you put, dude, Rick and Morty is a documentary. What do you mean by that?
So
I feel like that relates to this.
Yeah, so as far as Rick and Morty being a documentary, I think, there's some theoretical, truth there if you really dive deep into what thought is and what consciousness is. So, therefore, consciousness being almost life, right? I mean, obviously, someone consciously birthed Rick and Morty, and so if you think about the vastness of that, and it's hard to deny that is not a documentary. Everything that is written or created is then a full-on real thing. Aliens. tell me about aliens. Or so if you want, we can run this. I can clip this out. So if you want, we can just go from. I basically think you got. I didn't expect you to say that, and then give me your explanation that you gave me. We can just finish there on the aliens.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm about to reel it down.
So where are the aliens?
Can we skip the alien question?
Yes.
Because I feel like it's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. we went over that one.
No.
I got it's out of my system now.
All right.
This is the dream fight.
Dream fight. Who's the dream fight? You can watch anybody fight. Who would you watch?
Man, it's a tough question to say who. Like in history, I don't want to fight, but UFC wise, dude, I would love to see Dustin and the Korean Zombie, the sequel to that fight.
Yes.
Because there's a world where Gaethje beats Khabib, Gaethje fights Conor, beats him, and then you have Gaethje fight Dustin. If Dustin wins tonight, say if he beats Tony Ferguson, there's a world in a year or two where Dustin Poirier is the lightweight champion.
Yeah.
And there's also a world where the Korean Zombie beats Brian Ortega and he beats the winner of Volkanovski and Max Holloway, and he'd be the champion. And do champion versus champion, Korean Zombie versus Dustin Poirier, the sequel.
Yes.
At 155, dude, you could sell the shit out of that, especially if Dustin gets on another crazy fights on a fight streak. Same thing with Korean Zombie.
Yeah.
You said you were there at that fight.
I was there. I was there in Fairfax, Virginia, watching the dang thing, and man, such an epic scrap. Like,
I think that's an underrated fight people don't really think about. Them two, that would be a banger.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for that. Awesome. Thank you for that archive for us. All right, podcast with anyone. You could do a podcast with anyone. Who would it be?
Man, so I would say, you asked me a year ago, Charles Barkley would 100% be the answer.
Yes.
But man, I used to be this huge NBA fan. Like whenever I started my podcast, I'm like, am I gonna do fight stuff or am I gonna do NBA stuff? But now, with this COVID stuff, they had some issues with LeBron in China, and I'm just really turned off to the NBA now. So I just really wouldn't want to talk to nobody from the NBA. Wow. So now it's tough to say because I don't interview people anymore. Like I've had a lot of interviews under my belt, and it's just. I don't have a desire to interview people anymore, but since I have a UFC MMA podcast, if I could interview any one of them, it'd probably be George Masvidal, which might be a basic ass answer.
No, that's good.
I mean, if somebody said you could talk to anybody in the world, who you're gonna talk to? Like George Masvidal would be on anybody's list.
Right.
I'm just saying, I think he's a cool ass dude. I feel like he had a lot of cool stories. Just sitting drinking a beer with him.
Yeah.
Or drinking Muscala. That's whatever he sells. Just talking life with him. I just feel like he would be really cool to talk to.
Awesome. Thank you for that. The unexpected answer. That's a good one. All right. Mentally, spiritually, physically. What does it do? What you got to do to be you, Ryan? To benefit those three areas. What's something you can't go without?
Physically, real quick, I do jiu-jitsu. I lift weights. I eat clean probably like 60-70% of the time. I eat a lot of home-cooked food. I live with my dad, live with my stepmom. Whatever she cooks, I pretty much eat. Mm-hmm. I'm saving money right now, so it is what it is. I'm saving money. I ain't doing all your Whole Foods, your kale shit.
Yeah.
I ain't on that level yet. Right. I will be eventually, but now I just lift weights, do jiu-jitsu. I've been doing kickboxing for 6 months. Jiu-jitsu, I really feel like it gets the demons out of me.
Yeah.
Weightlifting, I feel like I don't have that. Yeah. Mentally, man, I said it before, reading books has really changed my perspective about life. Go-to recommendations, Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. Not The Art of War, don't be an asshole, it's The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. It's a different, Art of War is a different book. The thing about reading is just, man, it just really gives you a lot of clarity. It kind of just going through life, if we don't know what's going on, you don't know what's going to happen, you have a lot of uneasiness, a lot of just anxiety. And to me, reading, it gives you a lot of clarity. It lets you understand why you feel a certain way, why certain things happen. And just, they're written by dudes who are a lot smarter than you. Yeah. And so it's always good just to learn from other people's experience. So instead of you getting burned, you learn about somebody else getting burned. Yeah. And I mean, it's a good way to learn. And it's cheap. Books are cheap. it changed my life.
That's good.
I recommend War of Art, Relentless by Tim Grover. Relentless. Tim Grover is the personal trainer of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. It's all about mindset. Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules for Life. That book, I love Jordan Peterson. Me and Josh Artie, that's Josh Artie's go-to guy too.
Yeah.
I freaking love Jordan Peterson.
That's awesome.
Tim's go-to recommendation is Leadership by John Wooden. John Wooden was the coach of the men's basketball team at UCLA for 30-some years. He has more national championships than any other college coach in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He coached Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and his book's on leadership, which pretty much is just how to be a good person.
Nice.
How to be a good person, how to work in a team environment, how to talk to people. It's very simple, but it blows your mind. So Leadership by John Wooden, War of Art, Stephen Pressfield, Relentless, Tim Grover, 12 Rules for Life, Jordan Peterson.
Nice.
I probably have some others, but I can't think of right now.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, my friend, for coming to Shed Talk. I was gonna get you to show me something, but I don't want to anymore because my ankle. Brandon Abear broke my ankle. Not really.
Thug passion, boy.
And yeah. So shout out to Brandon Abear. He's got a fight August 1st. Justice Lamprez August 1st. Hopefully this will be out before then. Thank you, Ryan Fontenot, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. You came in with the punchline jokes. That's why I'm not gonna make you do anything. You done sold the whole show by coming in with.
I already showed y'all my moves.
You came in with that lip work, and it was on point. Thank you, my friend, for coming. Awesome.
That Dominic Cruz lip work.
Good job, bro. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I was gonna. Oh, we're almost done.